Hello again. Here we are for another scriptural study, and this is part 2 of a two-part series on the scriptural question, was April 4th, 2015 of the Gregorian calendar the first day of the 13th month? Again, this falls in line with the series entitled A Proposed View for Measuring Time in Which the World Does Not Recognize. So again, from the previous videos that we shared in the subject matter on a proposed option for measuring time under the following 4 constraints, again, let's pretend someone turned the power off and we had no way to use devices anymore, such as computers with various programs, telescopes, clocks, watches, TVs, radios, etc., let alone had no record or documents of existing calendars that we hang on a wall, now and for the future. And number 2, that we are actually stranded in a desert and are even on an island with no people around. 3, and the day that we arrived at this location, we had no recollection of what time, day, and or month it was. And number 4, all we had in our possession is the Scriptures, and we were fully aware that we could not take away and or add to what it states. This would be considered a truly set-apart situation. And is it possible that this could happen in the very near future? Certainly is, based on many of the discussions that I have had with many people that study and possibly prepare for these types of scenarios. And in our past video as well, we talked about how David as a shepherd was very simple, and the fact that he knew the timing of seasons with the sun as it related to the vernal equinox, autumn equinox, let alone the summer solstice. He knew how the sun, moon, and stars moved in the heavens, and he knew the heavenly, consistent, and repetitive pattern that were shared with him through all the scriptural text over and over and over again. And in the last videos, we had shared some information as it relates to this visual, and the fact that Enoch knew how the sun poured its light into the moon. So I won't go through this right now, but a full moon is a 1-month event, and a spectacular event at that, as we have shared in the previous videos. And as well in the last videos, we spoke much about Virgo and how the full moon aligns itself with the woman's feet as it relates to the passages of Revelation chapter 12 verses 1 through 2. So there was much discussion on that in the previous videos, let alone some of the comments from Enoch and how they relate to Revelation 12, 1 and 2, as we had shared in the past. So if you were indeed under the 4 constraints, how would you find that first day of any given month, and as such, the Sabbaths and the feast days or appointed times, Moedim of Yahuah? In our journey, with my family and I, we tested the conjunction moon. We failed miserably. We tested this process with a crescent moon. We failed miserably. But when we applied the 4 constraints to the full moon as new moon, success was experienced, and experienced in a great manner. Key message or takeaway here is, this is not book smarts. This is not reading a website or hearing somebody speak to you from a website or even this YouTube video. Don't trust me. Get out there and test and prove all things, just as the scriptures state, let alone what a diligent Berean would do on a daily basis. Okay, here's the big question of the year, and this scriptural question is about, is there a 13th month? In a book I read well over a decade ago, entitled It's About Time by Emet Zerayah, he quoted the following: "Is there a 13th month? Many of Yah's ekklesia, called out ones, are astonished upon learning that some years in Yahuah's calendar have 13 months. Since the lunar months consist of an average of 29.5 days, a year of 12 months equals only 354 days, 11 days short of the solar year. If there was never a 13th month in the year, the harvest festivals would soon be out of season. In less than 28 years, they would rotate through all the months of the year. This is what happens with the Muslim calendar. If we truly accept the scriptural calendar, then we will not have to arrange the 13th month, because Yahuah will do it for us. Always choose the new full moon, which comes next after the spring equinox, and the 13th month will automatically fall in place in the proper year. The ancients knew of the lunar adjustment for a 13th month, even as far back as Enoch, who gave the intercalation formula, as we can read in the book of Enoch, chapter 73, verse 13. There's a note here, and this is so important, and it's exciting. It's fascinating. And the note is this: Yahuah takes care of intercalation, not man. So we don't add a leap year to a wall calendar. We don't have to make any adjustments. It shows up in the heavens automatically. So is this actually true? Let's test and prove all things to find out. So in the book, It's About Time, let alone many other websites that you can find today, the claim is Bereshith, or Genesis chapter 1, verses 14 through 18, where the sun, moon, and stars have to be considered in identifying the first day of the month and the first day of the new year. So the first day of the new year has three things going on. So after the vernal equinox, the constellation, the stars, the Mazzaroth, will get in alignment, and Virgo will be in position to announce that it is close to the ripening of Abib. As you can see in this visual, Spica, showing the first fruits wave sheaf offering, so to speak, is there, and the moon should be in alignment or close to the feet or the foot of Virgo. And in this case, in this example in 1948, this indeed was very, very true when this happened. In regards to being the Gregorian calendar of April 4th, then the 23rd day, again of 1948. The reason we chose the other slide representing 1948 is because everyone understands that Israel gained its independence at that time period. Same view again, first day of the new year in the proper spring time, when Abib is indeed ripened, and this is the year of 1967 when Israel fought and won the Six-Day War. The pattern is consistent and repetitive. So here we have it again. In 2014, on April 15th of the Gregorian calendar, the moon is in alignment with Virgo. So a fascinating and consistent event happens every year on time with all of the four witnesses in alignment in regards to the sun, moon, and stars, and Abib truly being ripened. So from the past all the way to the present, this is indeed happening, has happened. You can check this on Stellarium. You can walk outside and see this. You can grab a telescope. You can see this. You can visually see this if you are in places such as Algonquin Park in Canada or in the Grand Canyon in Arizona. The stars are very visible, and these heavenly movements can be seen. And all that they are is, from Yahuah, is a calendar measuring time as it relates to the way Yahuah measures time and not the world. So this is where all the discussion started to happen in the last 2 years with the folks that we had studied with, and they were asking, well, why, after the vernal equinox, the first full moon on April 4th, which is a blood red moon at that, is only between the shoulder and the elbow of Virgo and not at the feet like it usually is year after year. So, bottom line, this is what is called a 13th month year, which happens to fall on the time period of 2014 into 2015. To prove this, pull up Stellarium on your own. Go to May 3rd of the Gregorian calendar of 2015 and find out that the full moon will be at the feet of Virgo once again. And this is what Enoch was talking about, and this is the previous slide from the book entitled It's About Time from Emet Zerayah. Yahuah will intercalate. We don't have to do anything. He announces it. He lets us know. We don't have to change any calendars, just have to look up in the heavens, and he will do all the work for us and let us know where we're at on any given month, let alone the first day of a new year. And if you're looking for further proof, a 13th month only happens every 3 years. So plot it out. Grab Stellarium and plot it out. But the next visual before you is April 22nd, 2016 of the Gregorian calendar, highlighting that this is day 1 of the new year. And again, there you see the moon at the woman's feet. The sun obviously is on the other side of Earth. Earth is in the center, and this is as a result of why we can see the moon being fully lit up, so to speak. So again, to reiterate, 2015-2016 is a 12-month year. 2014 to 2015 was a 13th month year. And this is all in the heavens. I don't have to prove anything. It's right up there. I went and witnessed it myself. I visually seen it, and you can actually track it on Stellarium and other computer programs, which is really cool. So in this day and age, the tools that are available are far more than what King David had as a shepherd. And again, don't stay in the house. Go out and see this for yourself. Test and prove all things. Now, this is the part of the presentation that will generate huge discussion and much controversy, we're sure. And we say this: oh, the folly of it all, because this is not speculation on what we're about to share. Ironically, they will find ripened to be with all of man's ingenuity. Take a look at the picture on the right-hand side of the visual. Someone will get in a helicopter and find a patch, 10 by 10 possibly, feet, that is, of ripened Abib. And as we all know, the conjunction moon believers, the crescent sliver moon believers, stated that there was ripened Abib right on the vernal equinox on the Gregorian calendar date of March 20th, 2015. Well, they can say that all they want, but at the end of the day, this process does not help us in regards to the 4 constraints of being stranded on a desert or an island with no devices or man's ingenuity. Bottom line is, the scriptures say to align the sun, moon, and stars in Abib all into one. And as shared earlier, the crescent or conjunction or even equinox calendars that ignore the moon entirely and forego scripture and its passages, take away, and put themselves in a position where if the lights do go off, the power does go off, could be in a world of hurt. But at the end of the day, this is something that I want to discuss further. Think about this for a moment. Because of my job, I get to travel globally, and I get to see the position of the sun, moon, and stars, let alone what the agricultural cycle is actually doing in these different countries worldwide. And on the Gregorian calendar on March 15th, which was a Sunday of the Gregorian calendar, 2015, I had the opportunity and privilege to go to the Grand Canyon. So what did I witness during this excellent visit? You got it. I witnessed and observed snow throughout the Grand Canyon. Now, folks, this is Arizona. This is a desert. And then there was snow and there was ice all over the trails when we went hiking in this one location. So as it relates to Abib and the ripening of Abib, we're talking about the Northern Hemisphere here, not just Jerusalem. Yahuah's calendar is for all folks to witness and observe. But most people are very, very comfortable with following man and not Scripture. We're not those people. Here's another photo. A few weeks later, let alone today, in Algonquin Park, where I had the opportunity to go for a hike. Notice the snow. Does this look like a time period where spring has sprung and everything is ready to go? So do I listen to man and the world religious systems? And or do I listen to Yahuah by observing his creation? It gives me great comfort to know that Yahuah made the heavens. Great comfort, because no man can manipulate it. In Daniel chapter 7 verse 25, it talks about an entity that intends to change times and law. What gives me great comfort again is this entity intends to. They won't successfully do it because they can't manipulate the heavens and the sun, moon, and the stars and their movements. The other beautiful thing about creation is you can go out today and go observe and witness it. And it does what it does consistently and repetitively. And at the same time, you get to witness and observe creation and life right before your very eyes. Notice the beautiful fox right behind me in this picture. So not only do I get to witness the light, the beautiful sunshine, the movement of the stars and how the moon and sun align to all of this in unison, all three parts, let alone the agricultural cycle with the spiritual harvest cycle. It's a beautiful thing.
Hello again. Here we are, April 5th of the Gregorian calendar, and most people believe that spring has broke and Abib has ripened. 3 weekends ago, we were also in the Grand Canyon, and this is Arizona when there was still snow. So it begs the question in regards to the full moon in alignment with Virgo's feet, which is not the case here and now, right now as we speak. It's at her shoulder, if you take a look. So May 3rd of the Gregorian calendar, the full moon will be in alignment. So many say this is a 13th month. Yesterday, New Moon Day, announcing the first day of the 13th month of the Creator's calendar. So something to think about as we move forward with our studies in this scriptural subject matter as it relates to the Creator's calendar. More to follow, Yahuah willing. Thank you very much for the opportunity for sharing.
So yes, David was a simple shepherd, but I'm envious of the knowledge that he had. I am still learning about this wonderful measurement system and calendar in the heavens that Yahuah created. I am still learning every day, and I look forward to every day in learning much, much more. Thanks to the help of many of you that provide your observations and scriptural studies on a daily basis. So is there a 13th month with Yahuah's calendar? You betcha. But don't take my word for it. Get out there, go see it, go look for it. And again, if you want to do some preparation or pre-study, read the scriptures first. That's the best place to go. Then back it up with Stellarium. It's free. You can go on Google and download 1.0 Stellarium for free. Start enjoying this. Astronomy is a wonderful subject. I never knew nothing about it in the past, and every day some new delight is coming our way. So thank you for this, and hopefully we can do more studies together. And I'm looking forward to the feedback. Critique it, test and prove all things, because we are not teachers. There is only one teacher, and that's the Messiah. And at the end of the day, we share information that's already been written. So there's nothing new under the sun, as the scripture states. We're just rediscovering it. So thank you again. It's been a blessing to do this. Yahuah willing, we'll get to do more. All the best in the name which is above all names.